Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, you will not believe where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was going to the bathroom on the Red One set.
Speaking of The Rock, who's the sexiest bald man in 2024?
All that and more on the way next. I just cannot wait until Thanksgiving. The good news is I don't have to. I can just swing by Krispy Kreme because they put out their new line of Thanksgiving pie donuts. They've got 4 donuts that they say capture the flavors of Thanksgiving. Does this sound like Thanksgiving to you? Chocolate silk pie? You ever have that after turkey?
Nope.
I mean, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Lemon cream pie?
Nah.
Not on Thanksgiving. Blueberry crisp? Doesn't that seem out of season completely?
Seems a little out of season.
It seems like I don't know what season. Summery? It seems summery.
Spring, maybe.
And then maybe this. And this is a maybe. Apple crumbled donut.
Yeah, I've had apple pie during Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's the only one of these that I've had.
Now, don't get me wrong. They sound like they could be pretty tasty.
Yeah.
But do I look at any of these and think Thanksgiving? They literally say Thanksgiving pie donut collection. They don't have one that's pumpkin pie.
Yeah, that's what I was like, no pumpkin pie. I feel like pumpkin pie and peanut butter pie are pretty, popular with that time of year. So
what about
weird.
Sweet potato pie?
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, so I don't understand this. That said, are we still probably going to try these between now and Thanksgiving? Especially when not only can you, and I saw this actually in the store the other day, not only can you get them at Krispy Kreme, but who wants to do that when you can get them in boxes delivered to grocery stores every morning? And I saw this at Kroger and I was like, is that new? And so I didn't get it, but maybe the next time I'm at Kroger's, I will do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there is a good reason to go to Krispy Kreme tomorrow because tomorrow is World Kindness Day. And on World Kindness Day, this is crazy that they're doing this. Krispy Kreme says they are giving away to the first 500 people that show up at each Krispy Kreme location, which basically probably means mostly everybody. They will give you a free original glazed dozen. Not just one donut, a dozen donuts.
A dozen donuts?
Yeah, it's only the originals. It's not these pie donuts. But just for showing up, they'll give you, because they're being kind, a dozen donuts. That's, somebody did the math. That's 6,000 donuts are given away for free per Krispy Kreme tomorrow.
Are they... For sure, every branch is doing 500, or is it like until supplies last?
It says at each participating location.
Yeah, that they always say that. They always have to say that.
You might go to the one Krispy Kreme where
that's not participating.
Where the franchisee is like, free donuts.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be making money here. Kindness. But that's what is World Kindness Day tomorrow at Krispy Kreme. So if you do want that. And that's a good way. Don't tell anybody that you know, and then just show up with a dozen donuts when you get to work or wherever you're going tomorrow, and you'll seem super kind.
That kind of reverses the original kindness act to be like, I bought these for you guys.
Well, you still went out of your way to get them. So I think it still counts. I think it's still kind.
Fair enough.
If the sledgehammer shows up tomorrow with Krispy Kremes for all of us, I think that's pretty kind of him.
Yeah.
Hint, hint. Everyone gets these, right, on their TikTok, the video where it's like some guy and he goes into Jersey Mike's and buys like 100 sandwiches and then starts giving them away to homeless people on the street. And it seems super sweet. And it is to do something nice like that for people that are less fortunate. And that's what we're about to head into that time of year where you're going to be told that a lot. Do stuff for people that are less fortunate. And you see those videos scroll through your TikTok and, you might have a moment where you feel like, oh, this is so nice. This is where the hope for humanity restored kind of attitude. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. And again, I think people doing nice things, we should be happy to see that. But if that's where your hope for humanity restored situation comes from, I feel like that's easily taken away because the next video comes along and it's some negative news story. And then you're upset about some job that's taking advantage of the worker that's posting the video about how Amazon's making me work so hard or whatever. Your hope for humanity can instantly be very quickly taken away because the next thing you see, if you want a hope that actually sticks, it's more than just seeing a nice TikTok video every once in a while. A hope that actually sticks comes with a relationship with God. Because when you have a relationship with him, he's with you every single day, giving you hope. showing you that, yeah, things negative might be going on in the world, but one of the things that you need to do and that he will help you with is try to turn those negatives into positives. Try to make the world a better place the way that you can, even though there's still going to be plenty of negative things that go around. There is a part that you can play to make things better, and that even when you see these negative things, it doesn't mean you have to have a negative outlook. Jesus wants to be there with you to give you hope and comfort and peace and all that and more through every single day of your life. And all you need to do is ask for it. Say, hey, God, show me that right now. And he will. RadioU.com/free gift if you want to know more. While it is common knowledge at this point that social media absolutely can have a negative effect on women and how they view their bodies and their body standards, it's not as studied how social media affects men and how they view themselves until now, where it is confirmed that simply seeing a picture of my body can make other men feel inadequate. It's actually a new study from New Media and Society that's found that men that fixated on likes and comments were on their posts were more likely to show signs of muscle dysmorphia, which is just more specific body dysmorphia, thinking that their distorted belief that their body is small and weak when that's not necessarily the case. Not only is that bad for your mental health, but also if it's causing you to train in an unhealthy way, like it's pretty easy to connect the dots to other health issues that can come from thinking that you need to look big, which is why I've shunned that lifestyle long ago.
Yeah. At this point, after reading this research and just seeing all the different ways that social media affects our brains and our, what we think is, beautiful and all of that and, handsome or whatever, I think social media is kind of just a net negative. Can we just be honest about that? Like, there's so many just not great things about it that have completely wrecked our whole society. And I'm like, is it really worth it?
No, it's not. But what's the alternative at this point?
Yeah,
there's no going back.
There's no going back. I'm probably not going to stop watching Instagram Reels, unfortunately, or getting on YouTube. But yeah, I do think that this is something, especially if this study talks about how it has an impact, especially on young men. And we're seeing that across the board with young people in general as they're getting on social media. They are just, it's wrecking their self-confidence.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be looking big or, for a woman, like being in shape. It could be, people are talking about mewing all the time and your jawline and trying to some of that stuff is pretty harmless, but some of it can also be like you're going to kind of extreme measures to try to get some kind of look that you want that may not even actually be physically possible.
Right.
So the thing is, what the roadblock I get to is we all know this. We're not getting off of social media. I just don't know what the answer is because what are beautiful people supposed to do? Not post? Right. Because they're making us feel bad about ourselves? I don't think that works either. So I don't know. It's probably, it's the algorithm's fault. Yeah,
it could be. It could be. But yeah, I don't know exactly what the solution is. I remember earlier this year, I read a book by the psychologist Jonathan Haidt that talks a lot about social media and the impact it has had, especially on young people. And he talks about the like button specifically and how that really wrecked everyone's confidence. Because now we have kind of this almost like social currency, that we keep going back and logging in to check and see how many likes it has and how much interaction it's getting. And it really does give us like this very warped sense of value that we place on that button.
That's smart. We should. It wouldn't be the worst thing to get rid of the like button. Although I do just feel like then we'd also have to get rid of view count too. I just think it would be replaced until we eventually just get rid of social media altogether, which would definitely be, I think, best for everybody. But nobody wants that. The wait is over. Reboot has put out their highly anticipated sexiest bald men list for 2024. And the results may surprise you. First of all, you're wondering, how did they determine the sexiest bald men? It's not just, they didn't just decide on their own. They had some important scientific factors they took into account, like each person's smile, their golden ratio, like the measurements of their face, right? Media perception, I don't know how they measured that. Vocal attractiveness, height, shine factor of the shininess of their head. And this is crazy. Monthly search volumes for the celebrities with the term shirtless and naked added up. So these, I'm glad that they did that. And so you can't argue with the results. The sexiest bald man, once again, according to Reboot's 2024 list, is Prince William. This is not the first time that he showed up at the top of this list.
Wait, people are actually searching Prince William shirtless?
Apparently. Prince William shirtless, Prince William naked. What's not fair is you assume that everybody searching for somebody shirtless wants to do it because, he's so sexy. I wonder what he looks like with his shirt off. What if it's morbid curiosity?
Oh.
What if you're like, I wonder, like, what if he looks real doughy? Like,
Oh, that's a terrible description.
maybe people are just thinking, like, I wonder how bad it looks. You don't know. It's just because they're searching shirtless Prince William means that they are doing it because they think he's attractive. But he showed up at number 1 on the list once again, narrowly edging Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Shaq is number 3. Kelly Slater, that's a name I have not heard in a long time.
Yeah.
Was number 4, and Terry Crews number 5. And then showing up for the first time, I think, in a while in the top 10, Danny DeVito at number 6.
I believe this man was robbed. He should have been number 1, clearly.
The height probably worked against him because that was literally one of the factors.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Height?
I mean, that was one of the ones that they included in their.
I didn't hear you say that.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Oh.
If you removed that, I wonder how high he would be.
Literally, how high would he be?
Do you agree with the rankings? You think these are sound?
I think they're fine. I mean, Thierry Henry showing up there is kind of shocking to me.
Have you seen him?
I mean, he's gorgeous. I used to be a huge Arsenal fan, so I love him. But
I looked him up. I mean, I knew the name from soccer, but I didn't know what he looked like. He 8 at the least he should be.
Right. I believe he is fully deserving of it, but I was surprised to see him on the list just because I didn't think that he was, super on top of people's minds now.
No, yeah. Neither is Kelly Slater.
That's true. Kelly Slater is also surprised.
Surfer. A lot of people are probably like, who even is Kelly Slater?
Right.
But good for him getting back out there at number 4 in the list. Do you have more respect for Prince William and Danny DeVito do this? They haven't gone full bald. Mm-hmm. And obviously Danny DeVito, it works for him. But don't you isn't it better to just, when you realize that it's starting to go, to just rip the Band-Aid off and just shave it all off?
I don't know.
I think Prince William can't be number 1 just based off of that alone.
Yeah, he does have still a decent amount of hair left.
Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised that they counted him as bald. I don't know what the amount of baldness is where they're like, this is when it counts, this is when it doesn't count.
But the worst is being in between like he is.
Right.
I would rather just be straight up bald than people go, is he bald?
Just holding on to the youth.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Prince William. What are the odds? What are the odds that not only would he get to be actual royalty, but also that he gets to be the sexiest bald man in the world?
I don't know what those odds would be.
He's won the lottery over and over and over again with his life. We were just talking about all these bald guys. Meanwhile, Allie and I are here with thriving heads of hair. Allie's hair is so long that just thriving that she went ahead and changed your hair yesterday. Mm-hmm. Literally one day into you being on the show. We have all these pictures of you, to post on the website and stuff after we welcome you to the show. And then you're like, I need to change my hair the day after that.
Basically, what I told myself was, I was like, should I get a haircut or should I, change up the color of my hair? And I decided to go with the changing up of the color of my hair. So I did a few highlights, but I don't think it's super drastic.
No, it's not. I said off the air that if you hadn't mentioned beforehand, like yesterday, if you hadn't said to me, I'm getting my hair changed today, which is exactly how you phrased it. You said, I'm getting my hair changed. I wouldn't have not noticed necessarily, but I wouldn't have felt confident enough that it was different.
Yeah.
To go, hey, what'd you do to your hair? Right. So, but how nervous were you going in thinking... Like, your hair's important.
Yeah, it is. I wasn't nervous at all. Like, I kind of had an idea going in of what I wanted. And so I had some inspiration pictures that I showed the salon, hairstylist.
I always feel stupid doing that.
No, that's what you're supposed to do. They appreciate that.
Is.
And so I showed it to her and she was like, yeah, we can do that. And so she did it. It took like a couple hours. Unfortunately, hair coloring takes a hot second. But yeah, I did that. And I think the best reaction I got was last night I went to a cardio drumming class that I go to. And some of my family run it, including my 2 cousins, and they bring their kids sometimes. And my little cousin, Max, he was like in the room that we're doing cardio drumming. And I walk over to them. And as I'm walking over, he looks over at me and just does the slow blink. Where he's like trying to figure out if there's something different. Yeah. He goes, wait a second, is your hair color different? And I was like, yeah, it's different.
That's all. There you go. Kids are so honest.
It's true.
Yeah. I'm still thinking about the showing a picture. I just always feel like if I go in to my barber and show him a picture, he's just going to go, you think you can look like that? Not a chance. I'm a barber, not a miracle worker. Is what he would say. We've all heard of doom scrolling, but there's apparently a new trend going around, particularly among young folks like us, doom spending. 27% of Americans doom spend to cope with stress. I guess it's another word for retail therapy, for just buying stuff to make yourself feel better. But now they've given it a more sinister and probably more accurate name. But 27%, a quarter of the country is doom spending. We're just spending money not because it's stuff we actually need, but because at least not, we don't need it, but we need it to feel better.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a very good trend, but I will admit that I definitely doom spend.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if I spend as much as I kind of window shop online, where I'll end up spending way too much time on Amazon or some other website that I like. A lot of clothing stores that I enjoy. And I'll go through and I'll save things or, put them in my cart. But I will say, for the most part, I don't end up really checking out with those things. I'll just kind of I'll save that for later. And then I just never go back and buy it.
And that is actually such a good point. My indecisiveness has saved me so much money. Yeah. I would be so much further in debt if I actually just saw something and I was like, this is the one I'm getting. But because I just, what I would do, everybody knows I'm a big hat guy. I don't just buy a hat. I go through every single hat on lids.com or Fanatics or whatever it is, and pick out 30, and then I narrow those down, and then I narrow those down, and then eventually I have 3 that I buy at a time. So that has probably saved me a lot of money in my life, I would say.
Absolutely. And I'm the same way. I'm not necessarily, I don't consider myself indecisive, but I always tell myself do I need this right now? Not really, but maybe I'll get it later. And so I'll just put it in the cart or put it in a wish list or something, but I never end up buying
money,
it. Right.
Then I'll go ahead and get this. And then somehow I never have fun money. I don't know how that works, but they say that this is problematic because 40% of people doom spend more now than they did a year ago, while inflation is running rampant and prices, it's not a good sign. The prices are going higher, which is stressing us out, which is causing us to spend more money on the same thing we could have bought a year ago for that's troubling.
Yeah, it's not a good combination. Financial people will tell you, the number one thing is not that you need to make more money to become a millionaire or something like that. What you need to do is just be more disciplined with your money.
Deny yourself of all joy. Yeah. And you can be a millionaire. Just a heads up, if you've bought butter at Costco lately, you might want to throw it out or return it. Because it's been recalled by the FDA. The reason that the butter has been recalled is because, and you may not have realized this when you bought it, but it contains milk. It's butter, and what they did not do on the packaging was denote that a possible allergen could be included in the butter, milk. Even though one of the ingredients is listed as cream, that's not good enough. This regular old Costco butter Kirkland signature includes milk. They didn't denote that on the packaging. And so 80,000 pounds of butter now they consider contaminated and unsafe for people because they didn't put on the packaging that the butter, just regular old butter, contains milk.
That's okay. Am I the only one that thinks this is kind of crazy?
No, it is crazy.
Okay, it's butter, first of all, but also like the fact that they think that people will actually return their butter. Mm-hmm. I mean, people might. I've been shocked by other things, but I think most people will probably just end up ignoring this.
Yeah. Out of the 80,000 pounds that might have been sold, how many pounds do you think went to people who didn't know that it had milk in it? Because they looked at the packaging and they was like, well, doesn't say anything about milk.
Says cream, but says nothing about milk.
I'm allergic to milk, but this butter, this regular old butter, doesn't say anything about having it. So I guess I'm good to go.
I'm lactose intolerant. Maybe I should try this butter here.
Yeah. So 80,000. If you have butter from Costco with that's a Kirkland signature with a best buy date between February 22nd and it looks like March 29th, there's a good chance it contains milk, even though it doesn't say so. And that can be dangerous. And so you might want to take it back. You can return it or you can discard it if you don't care about money. And then you'll be safe. You'll be safe from that dangerous milk.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
They do say that milk is one of the top allergens that causes reactions in the United States. So it can be dangerous. But I think when it's a product that always contains milk, I don't know if it needs to be denoted. Yeah. I don't know what the alternative is because we can't. I mean, how do we decide what most people know has milk in it and doesn't?
Right, and that's the thing. There's one of my favorite comedians, John Crist, talks about this whole thing of like how we make signs for things, and he's like, we gotta stop putting signs on stuff. Gotta start weeding some people out here.
For design purposes, at least, everything would look better back in the 70s when we didn't have to have warnings on everything.
Didn't have warning labels.
Why do you think all the signs and the packaging looked better back then? It's because there wasn't so much fine print and warnings. It's not time for the weekend watch list yet, but I do know one movie that's coming out this weekend, Red One. That's the new Christmas movie from Amazon with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Chris Evans. Mm-hmm. And I just want you to picture this when you go and see Red One. I think it's going to be, even though it's Amazon, it's going to be in theaters first. Whenever you go see Red One this holiday season, that in the making of the movie, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has admitted that, yes, he did pee into water bottles to save time during the shooting of the film.
Oh, I don't want to know that when I go in to see a movie, that's what's going on behind the scenes.
That is exact. He said he 100% did that. This stems. The reason he even brought it up is it stems back to a controversy from earlier this year where there was a report from The Wrap that said that not only did he do that, he also would arrive to set hours late, which obviously delayed things and cost Amazon a whole heck of a lot more money to make the movie. He denies that he's like, well, everybody's late sometimes, but he denies that he was, truly hours late over and over again, but he confirmed the peeing in the bottle thing.
Yeah, that's a wild thing to confirm that. He's like, I'll concede that part, but I wasn't actually late. Like, the being late would be so much better than admitting to peeing in a bottle to me. Like, that would be like, okay, you were late. Everybody's late. But he's like, yeah, no, I pee in a water bottle. Totally normal. But also, I think it's hilarious how he denies the whole like being late thing. He's like, they say I was 8 hours late. That's bananas. And I'm like,
Who says that?
Says bananas?
Who says that? I am concerned. He says he would. All the reports say he would literally go in the water bottle. I just don't want to keep saying pee over and over. But he says he would do it to save time. Like, what kind of movie set are you running where you have to make that kind of choice, that kind of sacrifice? And I know this is going to bother you, but like, if he's going in a water bottle, what does that say for the hand washing situation? If he doesn't have time to walk off to the bathroom, I hope he at least had some sanitizer, somebody to give him a quick squirt of Purell. I don't know if that is good enough, but at least it's something. And I'm concerned that wasn't happening.
I know a lot of movies now have what they call intimacy coordinators on set. I think this one might have been working overtime with somebody peeing in a bottle.
Mom, how was that save time?
I don't know.
You still have to go somewhere completely private, I hope.
I would hope.
Hope.
We don't really know.
Nobody's making any accusations about that. And if that was the accusation, I don't think he'd be like, yep, I did that. Yeah, so I don't know. But now we cannot watch Red One the same. I do want to see Red One, though. Not because it looks good, but because it looks crazy.
Yeah.
It has so many moments in the trailer that are like purred happily from Parks and Rec where I'm like, I don't know what that meant, but it had the cadence of a joke.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to Red One coming out this weekend. Get ready to chime in with your verdict in today's You Be the Judge case. We have a 71-year-old Oregon cyclist named William Hosch, who is suing an ambulance company for $997,000 after one of its ambulances turned into him while he was on his bike, injuring him and destroying his bike. He claims the crash left him with a fractured nose, body scrapes, and decreased grip strength, along with nearly $47,000 in medical bills so far, plus future medical costs. But here's what's crazy. After transporting the guy, Hosch, however you say it, to the hospital, the ambulance service billed him for the trip. He's seeking damages for pain and suffering and has named his own insurance in the lawsuit as well. Should he get the money? You be the judge here on the Hudson Show. $997,000. To be clear, this guy was riding his bike. He was hit by an ambulance. And then that ambulance took him to the hospital and billed him for the trip. Should he win his lawsuit? 8772 RadioU. You be the judge. Chime in with your verdict. We'll see what people are saying. Responses coming in. We did hear from Taylor, who just simply says, the question is, should he win his lawsuit? Taylor simply says, yes, of course he should. Regina says, absolutely he should win his lawsuit. I feel like the ambulance company was like, you know what? Let's see if this guy is dumb enough to pay the bill. D says the ambulance company should take care of the trip to the hospital and the medical bills associated with the accident. Anything remaining, if he puts in a health savings account because he claims it for future medical care. Otherwise, no. And then, this is good from Lindsay, who has some experience with the matter. She was hit by an ambulance once. No, she wasn't. But she said she used to be a medical bill coder, and she's 90% sure there's a specific insurance bill code for getting hit by an ambulance.
Wow.
She says they need to pay for his medical bills at least and forgive his bill, which, I mean, honestly, why would they not forgive his bill? They're the ones that hit him.
Yeah.
She says that's just rude. I had to take an ambulance.
Ride.
If I had to ride, completely out of my control. It was 30 miles away to a bigger city. It cost me like $5,000 after insurance, so I feel his pain.
Oh.
She wasn't hit by an ambulance. She did have to ride in one, though. This guy is tough, right? Because he obviously had some serious injuries.
Yeah.
But he was riding his bike, so what's he going to do? Walk? So the bike is destroyed by the ambulance. So what was his alternative exactly? And it seems convenient. Hey, you just hit me. But
take
look,
me to the hospital.
It's an ambulance is right here. This is great timing.
Yeah, great timing, but definitely I think this is going to be a landslide victory over here, at least on our part for William, because it just seems so obvious. Like, you're the one that caused the accident. You're the one that slammed this guy into the ground, into the cement. He's 71 years old.
Yeah.
And the pictures are terrible, but yeah, you're the one that did this. Don't charge him $1,800.
I don't know what his actual bills wound up being. The only thing is $997,000 feels like a lot for anything.
Yeah.
That's basically $1 million. Right. And he could walk afterwards and stuff. So it's not that crazy. But the other, let's just play a few different close scenarios out. What if this ambulance hit him and then a different ambulance service took him to the hospital? It would be his insurance's responsibility to pay for that. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, so he'd have a big bill. But then it would actually be but then you think the ambulance that hit him would actually have to pay his insurance,
Yeah.
So it does. And if we go back, it says that his own insurance is named in the lawsuit. It feels like they really did him dirty here too.
It does.
How did they not get the ambulance service to pay for it?
Right. How did they not work this out to be like, hey, no, you cannot charge our client for this. You caused the accident.
Based off of this, I do not want to be the lawyer for the ambulance service because I don't know what kind of ground they have to stand on. But maybe they'll just, because he sued for so much, will structure a settlement and that'll be their win.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Guilty. The ambulance service is. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.